Hello, this is Ki with RunScore. Today I'd like to cover some of the commands in RunScore. Some of them are little used or understood, and some of you use them, but we want to just to help cover some of these helpful tools that can make scoring your race much easier. First thing we want to do is click on Help. We'll come up with a screen, we'll click on Contents, and let's expand commands. Notice it has the list of commands. It will talk about how to use them, and let's talk about the two super commands that we'll cover a little bit later. The destination allows you to set a file name, and the output format allows you to go ahead and give a type of file you want to create, a JSON, an XML, an HTML, CSV, or GRU. This helps set up the format in RunScore. Now, let's want to look at one of the commands that's not normally used, but on a prediction race, we want the absolute value to show how close they were to their prediction. By putting it absolute, we no longer have a plus or minus, it's just the absolute time, so we can show how close they were before or after. There are several commands in here that have been removed under DOS that were only DOS functions, and you'll be able to just look at those to see what's going on. First one I want to talk about is age graded. Most of you will never be using just straight age graded because that has to deal with either male or females only. And if you use age graded percentage, you can use it with a mixed. So here you will actually work on a file that's in your common directory for the distance that you have, and you will use the time, the event you want to show, the event time that you're going to age grade percent act on, and usually put a header on that to show and then sort by that. What we're going to do is I'll show you an example. I call it a sanity check because I'm going to here in this is check how well people did or whether they ran the correct race. If we look at this, we can see that Daniel Ebener, an 18-year-old, ran a 16:38, which was 77.29% of the world record for his male 18 age and sex group. The third place in this with a time of 26:54 was a 62-year-old female that ran a 70.47% of her world record time. And the second one down here, very good fast runners, but they would have showed up only in the female results. By using age graded percentage, you show the best performances of the day per age and sex, so you give a more representative printout of your actual race. They also on this, if for some reason this was over 100%, you know that they either shortcut the course or ran the wrong race. One of the next things I'd like to show you here is the buy percent, and the buy in total. This allows you to select a field and sort by last name, records per page. This will show you all the states and the last names in that state. A buy percentage allows you to go ahead and show the different values for that field and the numbers and the percentages. Very useful, very nice to be able to do that. You can also put a total by a place, by a value, and it will total up all of those values in the report. One of the most important things you'll be using, and most of you know all this, but we'll go ahead and cover it. The comment command allows you to put in a comment and then anything after that comment or after the 21st place for that will show up only on that editing that file. A space will go ahead and comment out the rest of that line. An asterisk will comment that out and allow you, or there's an easy way to go ahead and do a slash asterisk. Doesn't require more than that. And an asterisk slash to comment out or to ignore this whole group right here. The other thing, the conditional form feed, this will allow you to go ahead and put this in and allow you to separate out pages by, if you have only 5 characters left or whatever. You can play with that a little bit more. The conditional headers is if there's anything in there, it'll show those. Very useful on some of your reports. We talked about it earlier, the destination command. You can set it up as destination printer, destination a text file. You can send it to the browse screen. Very useful on a lot of things you do. Most of the old things to send it to a COM port or a serial port or a TCP/IP port are not really useful unless you have an older timing system. The did not finish allows you to show people that did not have an event in the final event, the time. The event command allows you to show which event you're using. You can plus or minus that to get your values, either using an event, another event, or a time. These are all dealt with by times. One of the strengths on this is the not command. You can say event secondary, not primary, and you will show people that had crossed in the secondary event but didn't have a primary time. This is useful to show people that are missing a start time or a split time and display those accordingly. The output format we discussed a little earlier will let the default is a text file, but you can create an XML, a JSON, and it'll format out there for use with other systems. Very important, very nice. The other thing that goes with that is the title command. For an external report, you can put a title tabbed over to a value, and that's on any external reports. That will be the title of the report instead of the name of the file. Let's go up to the prompt command. This allows you, say in a header, to do a dot prompt. In the header, you want to have the dots in there to show that, and it allows you to put a query, which is a question mark, and an explanation to that. That will prompt you when you run that report to type in what the weather is or what values you want. This is also very helpful in using listing files that you want to put in a value as you run it. One of the ways I use this is if I want to fill a field, I put in select the bib number greater than 0, not equal to 0. Selected, I will put in the field to fill, and the selected message the new value. So when I ran that, cannot use a grayed out. Very important function. When it's grayed out, you have to either change it by the color, or an easy way is hold the control key down and the X. Notice that is now unfiled. I can go ahead and go in. I'm going to fill the field SRC with the value X, and that will go ahead and fill all those fields in the database for SRC with a value. Very easy, very simple to do. One of the other commands that's useful, if you want to create a list of just the unique names, addresses, sex, you will actually be able to export that file to give you like one per last name, with a unique address, with a unique city, with a unique state. Okay, it will give you just those listings. Very simple for looking up some of the stuff like that. The sort command is used quite often on your sorting in your listings by either last name, first name. You can also go to sort events. If you have multiple events in and you want to list the last event you want to list on there, you don't want it sorted by, you put a no sort below it, and that will give you the next, or the previous event will be sorted by. The most important one we use in command we use in RunScore is the select. This will be able to alleviate or limit the amount of data that you're looking at. If we select the age less than or equal to 20 and select the age greater than or equal to 16 and that the sex is male, we'll show just those individuals that meet that criteria. The operands, or the conditional commands in here, less than, I recommend you use the LT, the LE, the equals, the greater than or equal to, the GT, the not equal to. There's two commands or operands that people don't normally work with, which are very powerful. The starts with, you can put a couple of characters in there and you'll get those that start with that value. And the more important one is contains. If you've got a long field for text or whatever, or an event name out of your online system, you can actually put a string of characters in there and that will select on those also. Now, you can select on dates, and you talk about your formats. There's the selected, everything else. One of the most important things that's been added that's useful is the select event command. The select event command allows you to select the event start and look for all times greater than the time. You have to make sure you've got all your colons in there. The other thing you can check to see select event split one that's greater than or equal to the finish time. This would more likely be the start time. You want to make sure that you've got a start time that's greater, that's less than the split time. Very helpful in a lot of your fields, a lot of your things on that. Again, spend a little time in here looking at your commands and look up if you have any questions or comments on, give us a shout. But the main thing is, I just wanted to cover a few things that some people don't know or haven't used often. The output format is very powerful for being able to get you a correct listing type file. You'll still, on the file name, you'll use the extension of this. That used to do it automatically, but the output format now does a lot more intricate work under the covers to give you that correct file. Have a nice day. Give us a shout if you have any additional requests or ideas.